All right, welcome to the Renku pre-release demo to our external collaborators and other community members. Thanks for joining us. So the purpose of this pre-release demo is to share and discuss the new developments and features that are coming in the next Renku release. The purpose of the meeting is also to create a shared space for interested community members to meet the team and to learn about our approach to developing Renku. So to set some expectations, this is not a polished presentation, but rather a behind the scenes look at the features that are coming presented by the people who built them. This meeting is also a live team meeting for us, where much of the Renku team is seeing the final versions of these features for the first time. So the discussions will at times dive into a fairly technical level, but we welcome any and all questions from the audience. So with that, the first build team to demo today is our build team who did a wide-ranging sweep of improvements to some UI and UX topics, improving the dashboard, project and group creation, user and groups pages, and also improving the UX around connecting to Switchdrive and PolyBox data connectors. Andrea, Jimena, and Lorenzo. Okay.
Okay, hello everybody. I want to share my screen now. Okay. The list of new improvements in the UI. I wanted to start showing you that now it's we make it easier to create a new data connector for PolyBox or Switchdrive. Currently, the current version in Renku, it belongs like only one general option that is with that. Now we split it in PolyBox and Switchdrive. And for example, in PolyBox, when you can connect in two different ways with a personal storage space or in a public folder. So for example, for a public folder, now we only need to include a public link. So for demonstration, here. So I have here one public folder. So it's simple, I copy the public link, go to our UI. You also can include some password for the public link, and in this case, no. So you can go forward and try the connection and then set up everything else that you want to set up. So for example, let's copy this, just PolyBox Andre. That's a typo. And yeah, and that he will be available here. And for the other case, would be, for example, for PolyBox, if we want to connect with the whole storage, personal storage, so you can go here. And now in this case, you don't need to mess up with links. Just include your username and the password. You could use the password, but we highly recommend, as it's written here, to use it, okay? So in that case, ideally, you can go to your account, go to settings, go to the security part, and here you can create any token. So let's say here we create this one, and yeah, should work like that. And this other here is in case that you want to go directly to some subfolders in your storage. But in this case, let's say that it's not needed. So let's say that would be very work. Where to find this information? So when you launch a session, here it's already launched, and just to save some time, here you should find it under the folders, exactly as you name it, the data connector. So for example, here will be what I use as a public link, or the configuration for my whole private storage. Yeah. So good. Yeah. Okay, but here will be included your PolyBox storage. And yes, that's also, it works exactly the same as Switchdrive. And in case that, for example, in this example, that is a share folder, so you will see that here is like specified that there is no credential required. And for the other case, and will be explicit here, include that includes in its some credentials or not. And that's the first feature. And the second one is regarding the dashboard. No, sorry, regarding the how we create projects and groups in Renku 2.0. So we simplify the form now to, in a model, in this simple step, include all the information, the minimum information required for a new project. So in this case, we can here include the name of the project. You can select any other namespace that you have. Or you will see here directly what is the URL for your project. If you want to create it, create another, you can edit it here and change it. Specify the visibility, maybe a short description of what the project is about, and continue. And it should redirect you to your project, to the new project. Same for the groups, so you can create a group from here and specify the minimum information, like the name of your group. And you can also modify the URL for the group, a short description, and it redirects to your group. And yes, just these two links is working as the same. So you will find the same easy form accessible in place. And the next feature will be all this new redesign for the dashboard and the user page, the group page. As you see, when we go here to the group page, it's a lot of information that could be overwhelming, especially if there is a lot of projects on the world data sets here. So we simplify in this new view. Here you can see that this will be the dashboard for a user that already have a lot of information. But let me start with something a bit more simpler. That will be this one. This is when the user just start in Renku. So will be identified clearly that it's with the user already logged in. Where to start? In this case would be create my first project. All the links that we found that can be very useful. So from here we'll go to the new project. This is the previous version of the new project. So he will open the form in the model that I showed before. Can also explore other existing projects that we go to the search, and he can play with our filters here. Also recognize how to create a new group and so on. And going back to a project that already has information, and we have here listed your projects that you have access, public or private. Here also groups that you are member of or owner of the group. And also we clean up, for example, the user view. So you can find out, this is a very easy version of where you can find your projects, all your projects, or your data connectors, or any other user. For example, here, if I have a group, I have some members. So for example, I can navigate to other users and see what this user has public. In this case, for example, has some project but has nothing public, no visible data connectors public. In case that you want to reuse all information. And for groups, the same. We can navigate to a group, see which projects belong to that namespace, and see clearly here this part which members are of this part of this group. And if you have the right, you can go here and change some metadata or add new members. And yeah, also create or reuse some data connectors, system data connectors. And yes, that's so far everything regarding the dashboard. Any questions? Suggestions?
I mean, small nitpick, but I will have a PR to fix the initials
Yes, that's a
I'm
minor
wondering
thing.
about that.
because it irks me so much, but I will do it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's that was like for this version. We wanted to or the decision that I took here was like keep consistent the UI, because for the current list, we don't have the initials, let's say, of we have the slot. So we can create here like a SDSC academic team, and here I wanted to keep this relation between when a project belongs to here. But this is like something that Flora already thought in a solution that will become in the future, just to move forward with these changes. So we will leave it like that, we'll be consistent, but maybe even both solutions will be delivered at the same time. So the user will notice that you just see the initials. But that's why this version has no using the initials, are using this log.
I see, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what happened there. Yeah, that is awkward.
Yeah. Thank you.
Those initial group names, if there are more than one word.
It will use the,
I mean, just the first two ones. Yeah.
like it used to.
I didn't do that for groups, but it will.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks.
So looking forward to these being released.
Okay.
Okay, then our next feature is for session secrets, for the ability to connect to protected resources from inside a session. And Flora?
Yes. Yeah, so the next feature is session secrets. The basic idea is about being able to use like secret things like API tokens in Renku sessions. And so to have people who work on a project being able to describe that they want to have secrets. So now we have a new section in the project settings about the session secrets. So here you can see that I have two secret slots. So slots are kind of, yeah, places where you want users to provide secrets. And so people on the project can add some new secrets. So this is right. And so, yeah, here you can see that some new secret was created, and I have provided a value for it. So it shows like here. And you can see also that we say where you will be able to find the corresponding files in the session. So now if we go into our project and we try to launch the session, here we just reminded that there's a secret that we should, I mean, that is potentially required, and that we should maybe provide a value, or if we don't want, we can skip that step and still launch the session. Here I'll just provide the value right now, and then yeah, the session is starting. Okay, yeah, this might take a minute or two to start. And so going back here on the project settings, so here you can see that the location where the secrets are mounted is configurable. So you can go here and change it. And what thing to note is that you can also use relative locations. So it will be relative to the working directory if you skip, I mean, if you omit the /. So that can be useful. Like, I mean, both options can be useful if people prefer having like a fixed location that's absolute, or prefer having a something mounted relative to their work directory. So hopefully, yes, okay, session is ready. So in this case, the secrets were mounted like in an absolute location, so they are not in the work folder, but they are in the /secrets. We can see them here. And so, for example, if I show here, like the content is what I just typed before. And we can check on this project. I have set it up as a relative location. So here we can see like how it tells you where it's mounted in the session is that it's relative to your working directory. So we can also check how it is here. This one also launches fast. One thing to note is that only logged in users can provide secrets. I mean, there's like some technical limitations, but it's like not the best idea to have anonymous users be able to use secrets. So in that case, I mean, we can show what happens. If I log out here and refresh, and I try to launch a session with secrets, I'm prompted to either skip this process or to log in so that secrets are created. And if I log in, do a double login. I don't know if, yeah, I mean, I already had the session, so I was just redirected to it. And so here, because the secrets were like mounted in a relative location, we have them here. And so we can check them. That our that's our secrets. Okay. And last thing is that to help handle the secrets, so now the user secrets menu has been reworked here. So if you open it from a Renku 2.0 page, you will go to this version. And it's important to note that if you are in Renku 1 and you open the secrets page, it's a page that's relevant to Renku 1.0, to like the old Renku. And so now in the secrets page, what you can see is the secrets used in sessions, and you can see where they are used, for which projects and for which slots in the projects. And if you're not completely sure, you can also even click here and it brings you to the section here where they are used. And also the other update that comes with it is the fact that now secrets for data connectors are kind of better organized. And if you save new credentials for data connector secrets, they will have a nicer name compared to before. They had some very non-pronounceable names because of having an ID in there. But now they are should be nicer to list and manage. And also, so what should also be noted is now you can rename secrets. So like the names of the secrets, like you can put things that are useful to you. So like what is from the admin, like you can do this if you like to have, if you need a bit like things to help you understand like the secrets and things like that. I think that's it for most. Oh yeah.
One thing you haven't demoed yet that you can reuse a secret in multiple, like how you can provide the same secret in multiple slots.
Oh, yes. Yes, once you have saved the secrets, yeah, for example, here this secret is used in different projects. So if I open a project and so clear the slot, for example, and here prompted to provide the value, I can just paste the value, or I can use an existing secret. That's where using nice names is useful, and I can pick this secret and say that that's the secret value I want to use for this slot.
So if you, for example, use a database, you can have that saved one time in Renku and then add it to multiple projects.
Yes, the idea is for things like API tokens, like for AWS access or database access. You can create the secret slot in one project, save the credential, and then reuse that same value in different projects. Any questions?
I'll highlight one more aspect, just in case it's not immediately obvious to any viewers, that by having the slot and then the location, that is shared among all people on the project. So regardless of different people having their own credentials for something, it will be represented in the same way for the project, so it can be reused in the code in a standardized fashion.
But the credentials themselves are private to each person.
Yes.
I mean, that just is whatever the admin giving out secrets wants.
Yeah.
So just to be sure, if you refer to another secret and then change the value of that secret, this one also gets updated, right?
Yes, it is here when you want to replace the value. You have a note that says how many times it is used.
Yeah, great. So that allows you to really have just at one place your token and update everything in one go. Awesome.
Yes, if you do reuse the same value, it should help you like only update it once.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you, Laura.
That's great, thanks, Laura.
Then our next big feature is around supporting instructors and courses. And so helping them disseminate course material by adding the ability to copy projects. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You thought you were sharing.
Yeah, because it's the Renku interface.
Okay. Yeah, so I will show this feature related to what we're calling template projects. And as Laura mentioned in the introduction, it's motivated by the case where people are teaching a course and they want to set up their course so that the instructors create a project that has all of the content needed by the students, who then copy this project and do their problem sets or whatever they need to do within their own copy, so that they're not stepping on anyone else's toes and they're able to work independently. So as that implies, to demonstrate this feature, I'm going to be switching perspectives between two different users because it doesn't make sense. For one user, context. So yeah, so to get started, I've just created a project. It's a very simple project. Yeah, I should have done something with I should have had a project with something in it, but think about that. So it's just going to be an empty project, but to take advantage of this feature, you can mark a project as being a template, which changes the UI around it, because the expectation is that a template project is designed to be used in a slightly different way than a regular project. So for the person who owns this project, they get a banner that looks like this, that reminds them that this is a template project, and it shows them information about how many people have already copied it. This doesn't violate the permission model, so it's possible that someone's made a copy that you're not aware of, but if you can see them, those will be shown here. So now I'm going to switch over to the perspective of another user who is taking a look at this project. So in the class, you'd presumably send a link to all of the students and say, here's the template project that you should work with. And then when a student goes and sees that, they will get this banner here that tells them that this project is a template and that it's designed for them to make a copy. So I'm not currently logged in, so let me go ahead and log in. And okay, now I'm logged in. And right now I'm asked to make a copy of this project so that I can. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it's going to ask me some questions about this project. And then make a copy, and great. And so now that's happened, and I've now got a copy, and now I can go over to that and view it here. So yeah, now the idea is that with this copy, I can work with it as if it's my own project, because it is, and I don't have to worry about stepping on other people's work. There is a link that's shown here back to the original project so that I can refer back to it if I need to, but the main expectation is that users will be working in their own copies. And so that's why if there is a copy already, you're kind of encouraged to go over there and do in that copy. So now returning to the instructor's view, I now see that there's a copy of it, and I can list the copies of this project that I can see. Yeah, I think that covers the main features. I think we showed the copying functionality in the interim build sync, and there you saw that all the sessions, the data connectors, and the code repositories that the Renku project get copied over. And what's been done since then is primarily around the UX of showing the information and guiding the users to do the right thing when they're looking at a project that's either a template or a copy. So yeah, that's it. Any questions? Yeah.
You have more than one copy.
You can have more than one copy.
Okay. And then the link and some of the other stuff is like,
yeah, let's
just tell you something different.
go ahead and do that. So in this case, it's a bit like you can always make a copy of any project. The UX is kind of not guiding you anymore once you already have a copy, because yeah, you just expect to do that. But I can go ahead and make another copy. Two. Okay, so I can, yeah, I'm not going to get a new project. I'm going to close this. And now I see that I have two copies of this project, and yeah, I get that same dialogue that allows me to.
But on the other side, like on the user side?
This is the user side.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So this is the owner side. Here that I see that other people have made. Here that I see I have two copies that belong to me.
Okay. You can see, you get a list. If you have more than one, you get a list when you say, whereas before it just said go to project. Okay.
What's happened?
That's nice.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Nice.
And a third user wouldn't see that the second user has copies of this project.
That is correct.
So
yeah,
it's not like public forks where you see
Yeah.
forks.
right. Exactly. So I mean, I do. Oh. Right. Oh no, I don't. Yeah. I don't have an example of it right now.
If you remove the role in search, you should be able to see all the projects.
Yeah, but I was hoping that I had a project that was a copy that other people had
So
also.
the original project owner can see the copies.
Not necessarily. Like if it's private, then I wouldn't be able to see. I could make a third copy and make it private, and then the original project then it won't be able to see.
In theory, you could support that in search, right? Where you went to search and you set some like copies of
Yes.
some templates.
So I mean, I think this is kind of something we will probably eventually do, which is to provide a bit more supported search around finding templates and finding copies from templates that that's not currently.
There's a question from the audience about how copying is different from cloning or forking. And thank you, Henry. So your real question answered, but I think it's a valid question. So our concept here for copying is distinct from like just forking a code repository traditionally. When you make a copy of the project, the links to the same data connectors and code repositories are carried along. So no new code repository is created. A fork of the code repository is not created. It's linking to the same exact code repository that the previous project linked to, and same for the data connector. The sessions and those, or sorry, the launchers and the environments are copied to be brand new, but match the same as the source project.
And I would say a big difference is also mentally, like if you have a fork on Git, you can still pull from the original or push back, and here it's really, we keep track of where it came from, but they're like two separate things and you don't synchronize or get new changes from the template or anything like that.
May I ask in this context, how are changes then tracked if it's not a fork?
Changes to what?
So a student does some changes to, the template, Jupyter Notebook, and how is it tracked?
There's a couple of different models for how a course might use this. So, excuse me, if they do want to be using Git in the course, and so making changes on that code repository directly, then they, in this case, have a link to the same exact code repository, and then there they can, for example, make their own branch on that code repository and do their changes that way. If it's a course where the students are not comfortable with Git, something that we recommend is make a copy, and then the student can attach their own data connector, for example, to their own PolyBox folder, and copy out like a Jupyter Notebook into there, and that's their own like scratch space where there's no Git required.
They would so much lose their work.
Lose their work?
Yeah, like the two students overwriting each other's notebook.
Oh, in terms of
Yes,
But
simultaneous
if
edits.
it's personal,
If it's your
put their own personal.
Then no, but
Yeah.
I mean, minus it's not working.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, and maybe a last question. And as an instructor, I can then start the sessions in the individual projects and see kind of if I want to grade, homework or something. Would that be feasible, or how would that work?
That would be feasible, but you just have to instruct the students to give you access to their projects to make sure they didn't make them private from.
All right.
Yeah, the projects themselves would need to be visible to the instructor, so that would mean either public in some kind of course group, or they add the instructor as a direct member on their project. The instructor would also need access to any, for example, if the student adds an additional data connector to their copy, then they separately need to be adding the instructor to have access to that PolyBox folder.
Yeah, so in principle, I could set up a PolyBox folder for every student, myself, for instance, and then this way exchange. All right,
Yes,
thank you very much.
exactly. Yeah, it's quite flexible, different ways that you can use this depending on the technical level of the students involved.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just don't, I think it was mentioned before, but don't, gets really bad when you cannot have two students edit the same file that you mounted via PolyBox.
It's not meant for collaborative editing.
It's not,
Yes.
yeah, don't do that.
Right, yeah, thanks.
Okay, then I will.
Well, I mean, as a question, so if you have a copy of a copy, it doesn't reference the other, like just the directs. I copied from.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
More in the chat, more questions?
Oh, and also other very random question is, do we want in the future to copy secret slots and like?
Oh, good question. How these get merged? I assume, yeah.
Okay.
I think secret slot makes sense because in some cases the project won't work without it, right?
Yep.
I mean, we could even copy the association.
the association,
If the user has one to the secret.
If you have
because
a
the
safe
slot
secret,
just-
you could just,
if the user's already filled the slot on the original project.
You're copying your own project or something.
Yeah.
Realized.
All right, okay, next up is a contribution from Severin for the free text project page documentation and a new data connector for OpenBIS.
So I want to show you my two contributions. One is the documentation, so the project documentation. Now in the project, you have this new box, documentation box, and you can edit. And then you can do things like making this a header. You can write. And what's new is you can also add formulas in a WYSIWYG way. So you have a preview. And you can go to the markdown. You can edit here. And you can go back. And it's immediately updated. You have here also characters. So it's not in the WYSIWYG mode, it's not just an estimation, but if you go to the markdown mode, then it's you really can count the characters. So
can you not count in the, why not display the count of the mark?
yeah, then in this mode, what you see here is HTML code. So you would have, so you have to, every time I enter a character, you have to transform it back to markdown. Then you can calculate the characters and then you know that. But when the documentation gets bigger and bigger, it takes more and more time to transform it to markdown. So when you do that, every time you type in something, then there is a delay. In this way, the HTML is searched and the characters are counted there. So that's the reason why it's only an estimation. So when you type too many characters, it will check that and it will inform you about this, but you have to change it. So before you save, it transfers it to markdown and then looks if it's not over the limit. And what's also new is, I mean, the formula, you can also add it in a different way. You can also make this display mode, so it takes the entire width of the document. And you can also add now images. And also tables, that was also possible before. But you can also move the image into the table, so it's quite flexible to some extent. Yes. And of course you can save, and then you have it. Or if you're not happy what you did, you can discard.
What's stored in the database? Is it the HTML or the
markdown?
Markdown.
Yeah. Are there any questions? I mean, you have all the features, so I removed all the features that are not possible to encode in markdown. So.
And I think we talked about this, but I forgot what we decided a while ago. The images is just a link that the
This is just a link, yeah.
Okay.
So when you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So if you
you go here, you see it's
Nice.
it's the markdown.
Is the UI allowing you to put the alt text?
Excuse me,
Is the UI allowing you to put the alt text?
all text of them. I don't think
Okay.
so.
You have to pick it by hand.
So you mean here?
Yeah.
But I think
No, now it's small.
I don't know.
So small.
Is it going smaller every time?
This was not planned.
Yeah, that's nice, really cool.
I think that's one thing is like when it was empty, I think maybe it should say just no description or something. Because it's just a white.
It looks a little funny, just a white bar.
A box.
Mhm.
This is, yeah. Oh, and kind of, I mean, it doesn't have to, but does it support any of other like diagramming things or
No.
like mermaid, things like that? No.
And this Markdown editor is also replaces the old Markdown editor. So when you add a new data set, it's also this one here.
Oh,
In V1.
1.0.
but in V1 we supported mermaid charts.
The charts.
Really?
Yeah, mermaid diagrams. Yeah, I have like a project with examples. Check in the
I guess it's something we can add.
Yeah, we can check. And the same like it's important. Just
Oh, it's super nice.
Very cool, yeah.
The project page is gonna look so much more full and done when this is in place.
Less saying.
And less same, yes.
Yeah, and another one, the other contribution is to add in a convenient way OpenBIS storage. So now you have here OpenBIS. And we can use this demo instance to demo this. And here we have to add the session key. So we don't want to add the username and password because we don't want to store ETH secrets. So when you go to OpenBIS and you go to the user profile, here you have the session token. And you can add the session token, you can test that it works. And here is also pretty check that it's a read-only device because it's not possible to mount it in a read item. Oh,
I'll see.
and here you have. But at the moment, it doesn't work to start the session.
Oh,
They need some debugging. There is still an error. But I think we are almost done.
Are there limitations with this OpenBIS so that you need to be at VPN, at ETH, or in the hosting institution?
Usually the OpenBIS instances are, so to mount it, so it's mounted with the SFTP protocol, the storage. Usually this is blocked. So you have to ask the operator to open the firewall to be able to mount the OpenBIS storage. But this demo instance is open.
For most use cases, we'll have to be in touch with people who want to use their OpenBIS to get that access opened up. They will need to talk to their hosting institution to make it available for Renku to connect to their instance. In many cases. Okay. Not all.
oh yes, I have it.
that wraps up the set of features that are user-facing to demo. Okay, are there any other questions or comments from folks online?
Yeah. I mean, I took that from our documentation. So this works.
Did we demo that last time? Thought we demoed that last previous.
Oh, yeah,
demo.
So it's
So we knew it was coming.
mermaid charts, like in the GitHub documentation.
I think I saw something in the chat.
So,
Alright, so the
Yeah.
question that Renku put out integrates with Dataverse,
You can-
both import and export systems support Renku 2.
oh,
Not
no,
yet.
but you can,
It's on.
no, I don't think, but you can.
I mean, rendering of the repository. I didn't touch that.
Ah, okay, so if you write it.
Because
Oh, sorry.
Any other questions?
But you just copy this.
you can.
Okay, thanks all.
Thanks.
This will be coming in a release in about, hopefully sometime next week before the holidays, if not really.
Should be under your Christmas tree as well.
Thanks all.